Welcome back, my buff bakers, and if you don't already know me, my name is Megan, and I am going through a fitness journey after having my pacemaker surgery. So we're 1 year after surgery, post-op, and I am experimenting with what works with my body being on a cut. So let's get into it. I am going to do this week's meal prep, no protein powders, no artificial flavors, just real whole foods that have kept me full and anti-bloated, so not bloated. Anyways, as I go through each step, I am going to tell you why I'm eating those foods, how they're benefiting me, and also what time of day I'm eating those foods, because I feel it's very important, especially with my activity levels being super high in the morning and not so much in the evening. So before we get into it, I want you to comment down below, what is your favorite meal of the day? Like what time, what meal, what do you eat? I want to know. I'm very curious. So let's get into it.
We started out by preheating our oven to 400 and spraying our pan with some olive oil, or I think it's avocado oil. Then we are cutting up some potatoes, and these are sweet potatoes, which we are using for breakfast, because I'm going to use this as like a breakfast casserole mash thing. And I like using sweet potatoes because it has good fibers and good carbs, which will keep me full and energized throughout the day. Don't forget to clean your surface. But I've realized since I work out at 3 a.m., I need carbs first thing in the morning and first thing after my workout. So heavily loading on those, especially complex carbs, helps out very well. And we are going to get our lean ground turkey and just spray a pan with that same oil. We're going to cook it down, and I'm using lean ground turkey just as a variety of a different meat because lean ground beef is very expensive, and this is going to go into our sweet potato casserole breakfast egg thing that we're making. This is where we're going to get our protein source from since we are not using protein powders. Now, you will see in this video, I only use salt and pepper for my food seasonings just because I have been having stomach irritants for a while now, and I'm just trying to find the root cause of it. So I'm basically making bland food. It still tastes good, but add whatever seasonings you see fit for these recipes if you're following along these recipes. Okay, you'll just see me kind of chunk up that turkey, which this was far too much, but that's okay. We ended up using the extras for a little salad bit over the weekend. But I'm salting and peppering to my desire, I've learned with lean ground turkey, you kind of have to add a lot of seasonings because it is very, very bland. But we're just waiting for that oven to preheat, and once that oven is preheated, we will put our sweet potatoes in there, and I cut them like that because I think it makes them like sweet and caramelized. I don't know. I put them in for 20 minutes, and then I'll flip them over. Anyways, we are putting our jasmine rice into the rice cooker. I don't know how much I did dry, but we're just putting a lot of that in because we're going to use that jasmine rice for our lunches. And we're just keep maintaining that ground turkey cooking. It does take a while to cook. Now, I like to have chia seeds, but I put them in these bio waters because I don't want to make chia pudding. So it kind of, I don't know if you've ever had those palm drinks, but that's kind of what this is like. But yeah, you just get healthy fibers from those chia seeds, and I will drink this pretty much after breakfast or sometimes before breakfast, it depends. But these also have good electrolytes in them as well, and they're low calorie. So try it out if you like that. If you don't, you can make chia pudding, I guess. But I'm just adding a tablespoon into each bottle, and I pretty much do them not all at once for the week, but I will do them the day before. That strawberry one I actually drank this day, so tomorrow I'm going to have the coconut one. We're just still keeping up with that ground turkey. You want to make sure it is cooked all the way through, even though we're putting it in a casserole. I don't trust poultry like that, so do as you wish, but I recommend cooking it all the way through just to be safe. And once it's cooked all the way through, we're going to put it into a bowl and set it to the side to kind of cool down. You'll see why we need it cooled down in a little bit. So once we get that pan cleared out, we are going to spray that pan down again with some more avocado oil, and we are putting our top sirloin in the pan to cook that down. I can't remember how many pounds this is, but I use this as a snack instead of a protein bar for like midway through the day. But yeah, I just do a little bit of salt and pepper, cook it down, and I'll put it in a little thing in the fridge, and once I'm going to use it for that day, I'll put it in a Ziploc baggie and take it to work with me. But yeah, I just kind of use it as a protein bar in a way. All natural. It tastes really good. Somehow it tastes so buttery, and it is delicious, and I only eat 3 ounces at a time just to savor it in the moment and not go overboard, even though I could probably eat the whole thing. Yeah. Anyways, now our potatoes are time to flip, so I'm going to burn my fingers and flip each and every single one of them and put them back in for another 20 minutes. Also, if you witness that rag on the side, I accidentally dropped it midway through, but I wasn't in the mood to pick it up and move it, so that's why that rag stayed there the whole time. Just a FYI. So we are finishing up cooking all the meats, putting it in our container, and we're going to set that to the side to let it cool before we put it in the fridge. Now we are spraying this pan down once again because we're going to use those lovely juices. We also turned the heat down a little bit. And we are plopping a lot of frozen green beans in there just to stir them around and get them cooked up. Usually I will just put them in my meal prep frozen, but today I decided to be a bit fancy and actually cook them. So you can either put them in your meal prep frozen, or you can cook them and then put them in your meal prep. Heck, you can even microwave the bag. It's a steamable bag. But I decided to be fancy, especially because I had the leftover steak juices in the pan. So I figured, why the heck not? Let's give it some flavor. And we are also going to salt and pepper these as well. No extra seasonings, just that salt and pepper. But do as you wish. Add your garlic, add your onion, add whatever. Which this is really good with cut up onion. If your stomach can tolerate that, I would recommend slicing up some onion and putting it in the pan to let it cook with it. And some mushrooms. Some mushrooms would go really, really good with these green beans. But my stomach says no, so we are not doing that for a while. Now we're just going to put a lid over the top. Since they are frozen, they need some time to steam down. Now it's been quite a bit, so we are just moving them around in that pot. Also, we're letting our sweet potatoes cool just a slight bit so I don't continue to burn my fingers. But since they have been cooling for about 5-10 minutes, I decided, yeah, it's time to burn my fingers. So we're just gonna, I tried to peel them because I didn't want the peels in there, but I decided, why the heck not? Let's just plop it all in there. So I ended up just putting all of them, peel and all, inside of that bowl. If you want the recipe to this, because it is very freaking good, I did 500 grams of sweet potato. I think it actually ended up being 5.5. But I just mashed that up so that way it kind of cools down a little bit more. You'll see why we need it cool in a little bit. But once we get that all mashed, we're going to put some frozen spinach in there. I don't know why. I almost said frozen green beans. But we are putting frozen spinach in it. And it would be really good with more seasonings other than salt and pepper. But you'll never guess, I can only put salt and pepper in this. So we are putting the frozen spinach and mixing that with the sweet potatoes, the mashed sweet potatoes with some salt and pepper. We get that mixed around, and that actually cools it down quite a bit since the spinach is frozen, and it makes the spinach unfrozen, a little cooked but not technically cooked. I don't know how many grams. I think I did like 400 grams of spinach. Anyways, after we do that, we're putting 10 ounces of that ground turkey meat into this. And I am being a little exact with that just so when I put it into my Fitness Pal later, I know how much each meal is. So you'll see there's going to be a lot left over. Anyways, we are flattening out our pan, kind of letting that cool down still a little bit. So we sprayed the pan down, put a parchment paper in there, and then we're putting 500 grams of egg whites into the bowl. That's why we had to have it cooled down, because we don't want to pre-cook these egg whites. So putting 500 grams of egg whites, 500 grams of sweet potato, 300 grams of spinach, and 10 ounces of turkey. And this creates 5 breakfasts for me, specifically for me. I will throw the macros up there if I remember. Hopefully I do. You'll see a little pop-up of that. And we're going to mix it before we put it into the bowl, because that would be weird if we just tossed it in there. So we're going to mix up this weird concoction, and then we are going to plop it into that square bowl. And I believe I had this oven set to 350, and I let this cook for nearly 45 minutes. So heads up, this does take a while. So if you want to make it, because it is very good, it takes a long while. So get that in there, flatten it out, kind of even it out a little bit, and then in the oven at 350 for 40-45 minutes. No, we didn't forget about the green beans. We are still cooking these green beans down. They were frozen, so it does take a while. And I like mine extra cooked. Anyways, that was done. So this is kind of what it looks like. It is kind of watery, I assume, from the spinach. Anyways, we're going to let that cool down before we do anything else with it. I did go ahead and boil my chicken in the crock pot. So slow cooked it with just water. And then I shred it with tongs to make it easier. So now we are actually assembling some meal prep. This is going to be our lunch. So we're putting 120 grams of jasmine rice into our meal prep container. And you'll see me weigh it out. I always take a while to weigh things because my fingers get the best of me and I end up putting different measuring ounces on there before I get to the right one. So we're doing 120 grams of jasmine rice in 5 containers because this is going to be 5 lunches. Now all of our containers have 120 grams of rice. We are adding 150 grams of green beans into each container. 150 grams, a little over, a little under, it doesn't matter. A little over is better than a little under, just saying. So once we get that added in, I guess I should mention, I completely forgot. So I'm doing rice as my main source of carb for lunch because I do need to keep eating carbs throughout the day to keep my body going. And I'm using green beans because they're anti-inflammatory, don't cause any gas or bloating. That is why I'm using that. And then we're doing 4 ounces of chicken into each meal prep. Also, it is unseasoned, I know, but I'm going to add extra salt and pepper before I eat it for the day. So setting that to the side to cool down before they go into the fridge. Now we're working on our dinner, which is just 4 ounces of chicken and 150 grams of green beans. So pretty much I sit down at my job all day, so I don't get a lot of exercise in. And when I get home, there's some days I will go back to the gym to do some cardio, and I will eat a pre-workout snack before that, which is pretty much just a rice cake. But I don't need very many carbs at dinner because I go to bed so early. I eat dinner at about 4:30, 5-ish, and I go to bed at like 6, 7-ish. So that's why we don't have very many carbs, because we don't need that energy, but we still need the fibers from the green beans, and we need protein. The reason I eat carbs for lunch is because I do have to stay alert at work, so it's better to have heavy carbs for lunch during that time when I need to use my brain and also muscle recovery. Now that we have all 5 lunch and dinners packed up, we are going to put our meal preps to the side. Go ahead, put the lids on them, let them cool before putting them in the fridge, which I did end up going back through and opening all these lids to let them cool because I did not think about it when I was doing it. I was just trying to get it done. You see how there's extra chicken left over in there? That chicken we're going to use for a snack, and some of you might think it's disgusting, but I find it delicious. You'll see. You'll see it's very, very good. So I have some bags where I'm going to weigh out 2 ounces of chicken into each bag. And this is snack number 1 of the day, by the way. So 2 ounces of chicken into each bag. And then we are going to be putting 80 grams of rice into each bag. And mind you, rice is a quick carb, which is why we are using it. Because I need them quick carbs for muscle recovery and easy digest, okay? So 2 ounces of chicken into each bag. 80 grams of rice into each bag. And that's not all. No, that is not all that we're putting in that bag. We are adding all natural creamy peanut butter. I guess it's kind of creamy chunky. I don't know. I got it ground up at Aiken's, and we're only doing about a tablespoon, which is anywhere from 14 to 16 grams of peanut butter. Call me disgusting, but I love it. This is the meal I look forward to. And not only do I add peanut butter, I usually add cinnamon and some stevia to it. It is so good. You have to try it. If you do try it, comment down below and let me know how you liked it. Because it's super good. Yes, some of you guys probably think it's like dog food, but it's really good. And you can also peep Riley getting his meal prep done there. Anyways, that is my meal prep for this week. I will show you. So this is my breakfast that I eat at 6 a.m. My snack I eat at 9:30. My lunch I eat at about 12:30. And then my dinner I eat at 4:30. My snack I eat at 2:30 p.m. Thank you for watching, and comment down below what you want to see next.